This here on SportsCenter, and let me start, Stephen A, by asking you this. Does it matter to you the context by which this was released or the circumstances surrounding the relationship between Sterling and this woman who is being sued currently by the Sterling family?
No, not at all. And that would be because of Donald Sterling's history. Whether it's the housing discrimination, that was brought upon by the Justice Department, where he ultimately had to settle for about $2.17 million, whether it's something along those lines, or you're looking at the history of the kind of things that he said, the way he's treated players. I've known Baron Davis for years. I've known several members of the Los Angeles Clippers that have played under Donald Sterling, and this is not the first time I've heard these stories about him. When you look at the case brought against him by Elgin Baylor, an executive that was historically and notoriously underpaid. I think his salary was at approximately $250,000 when everybody in the league was getting paid over $1 million for doing the job that he did all of those years. The list goes on and on in terms of Donald Sterling looking at individuals from the African American community as subservient individuals. That's where he was comfortable with them. That's how he views them, and that's the role he believes they should play in anything pertaining to his life. So clearly, when you take that into consideration, the context in which he said this, the fact that the girl was probably trying to embezzle something or allegedly, because that's the kind of case that you're going to hear about it. I'm hearing, by the way, that she, along with a male individual, tried to get about $500,000, and I think that they were successful selling that to somebody that ultimately ended up in the hands of TMZ. So we can look into that further. In the end, what it comes down to is very, very simple. None of that absolves the role that Donald Sterling played in all of this. There's a history here, and the history says it's not a mistake. It is who he is, assuming that it is his voice on that tape, because we have to throw that caveat out there, because it is yet to be determined that that is his voice. And that's what Adam Silver, according to my sources, told the owners in the league when he spoke to them this past Friday. He said, listen, obviously y'all are all one community, the owners here. We can't just throw this guy to the wolves. We have to make sure it's his voice on the tape. But obviously a lot of people are assuming that it definitely is, because we certainly did not hear any emphatic denials as to that being his voice coming from the Los Angeles Clippers.
No, we did not.